Reaparece Bill Ackman, lo ha hecho para presentar un argumento final de campaña bien interesante. Bill Ackman es un multimillonario, administrador de fondos de cobertura, es un ex partidario de los demócratas y ahora se ha convertido en partidario del candidato republicano Trump, y él está dando una serie de argumentos sobre por qué votar por el candidato republicano, votar por el candidato Trump, es votar por el crecimiento de los Estados Unidos. Él está hablando en gran medida de la importancia que tiene que el candidato republicano sea capaz de estar rodeado de personas brillantes, pensando en el talento y la brillantez del país, algo que, según él, no se ve de un modo contundente por parte del Partido Demócrata. ¿Qué dijo Bill Ackman? Evidencia.
Who is the Vice President Harris team? Right? On Trump's side, we have Trump, we have Musk, we have RFK, we have Tulsi Gabbard, we have Vivek Ramaswamy. These are actually very, very capable people that have kind of joined the team. And once he actually wins, I think a lot more very capable people are going to sign up. And I think if you look at the issues that they're focused on, Musk is focused on everything from regulation to government efficiency to waste and cutting costs, and he's obviously pretty good at that. He let go 80% of X, and it's a much more highly functioning, better product today. Kennedy's going to focus on, corruption, pharma, making America's healthy. These are, I think, critical issues for the country. By the way, part of the reason why our budget's out of balance is we have such an unhealthy populace. Mm-hmm. We spend an absolute fortune, as you know, on healthcare, and we have the worst health outcomes of any, major country in the world. If we can change that, that alone, we're going to save enormous amounts of money. Compounding is one of the most powerful forces in the world, and that if we can actually change the growth trajectory of the United States, instead of growing at, these very low single-digit growth, 2% or 2.5%, which is, kind of what we've achieved in the last, number of decades, and we can take that to 3.5% or 4%, the implications for the poor, for meeting our obligations, for scientific advancement, for national defense, for a safer world, are very, very powerful. And it sounds like such a small difference, but with the passage of time, that's one of the powerful forces that you learn about when you're in my industry. I'd love to see it apply.
El crecimiento y el beneficio del país, dice este multimillonario, va a beneficiar a todos los estadounidenses. Él dice, yo le doy crédito a un líder fuerte que no tiene miedo de reunirse o codearse incorporando personas talentosas para que trabajen junto a él. Esa es una característica propia del mediocre. El mediocre le huye a la gente talentosa porque no sabe lidiar con su inteligencia, porque no lo entiende. Él hace una comparación entre J.D. Vance y Tim Walz. Él explica que J.D. Vance es extremadamente inteligente, tiene una agudeza mental, un talento, una elocuencia y una capacidad impresionante. Cuando usted lo compara con el compañero de fórmula de la candidata demócrata, se encuentra con que ninguno de estos adjetivos serían exactamente aplicables. Estoy entusiasmado por estas incorporaciones a una futura administración Trump, dijo Bill Ackman, un multimillonario administrador de fondos de cobertura. Él fue un gran donante y partidario demócrata y ahora lo es con el Partido Republicano en la era del expresidente Trump. ¿Qué más dijo este hombre brillante? Evidencia.
In the government. So I'm excited about a Trump-Musk administration. And I credit to Trump. I think the other point I would make here, and I do think this is a really important election, is that strong leaders are not afraid to bring on talented people and work alongside them. You know, J.D. Vance is an extremely intelligent, articulate debater. You know, compare Tim Walz in terms of, I would say, mental acuity, talent, life achievement versus J.D. Vance. So I think that speaks to what the leadership team will look like in a Trump administration, and I'm excited about it. There are two ways to resolve debt. One way is to cut expenses. Yeah. Another way is to grow revenues. But ultimately, you need to grow the value of the asset that the debt's secured by to make the leverage comfortable. That's one way to think about it. And so the Trump approach is, I'm going to accelerate the growth of the country. And the way I'm going to do that is, one, I'm going to eliminate a lot of regulations that are holding back, that make no sense and are actually holding back economic progress. And if you think about how long it takes to build a bridge in the United States, or build a building, or even build a home, and the nature of the approvals you have to get, and the number of government agencies, you know, you look at the Biden administration, right? The $42 billion for rural internet access, and no one's been connected, and it's been years, right? $7 or $8 billion for a dozen charging stations. So the government is, you know, notoriously inefficient, and then you have all of the, again, all of the regulatory. So I think, one, a massive review of all the regulatory kind of quagmire, and, you know, set up the country efficiently. Two, I think having Elon Musk as your partner in this enterprise, I think, is a huge home run, right? So when was the last time we heard about a presidential candidate talking about cutting waste in government? So having a Department of Government efficiency, I think, makes tremendous sense. So eliminate waste. No one likes waste. Accelerate growth. And among that, reduce the cost of energy, which is embedded in the cost of everything.
Este ejemplo que él pone es el vivo ejemplo de la burocracia que impide buena parte del desarrollo en los Estados Unidos. Hoy él habla, por ejemplo, de acelerar el crecimiento del país. Él dice, pensemos cuánto tiempo lleva en los Estados Unidos construir un puente, construir un edificio, construir una casa, la naturaleza de las aprobaciones que hay que conseguir y la cantidad de agencias gubernamentales que hay que visitar para hacer el trámite. No es que todo sea un descontrol, pero hay un aparato burocrático que es enorme porque es mucho más grande y mucho más fuerte el potencial que tiene la estructura de gobierno que la estructura que tienes cuando haces grande al gobierno con tus propias contribuciones. O sea, si hay un gobierno muy grande, no hay un país muy bueno. Y el gasto público y el nivel que tiene el gobierno en los Estados Unidos hoy lo está demostrando. Los datos del Departamento de Tesoro, el Departamento de Comercio, quienes estaban esperando conseguir un Producto Interno Bruto de al menos 3 puntos en este periodo, quienes se han encontrado con que a duras penas se logró un 2.8%, tienen hoy la evidencia de que, aunque se esté hablando de una inflación que baja, todavía la confianza del consumidor y la percepción del hombre de a pie no es exactamente lo mismo que está diciendo el discurso oficial. Esto es algo que confunde y que forma parte de esa gran discusión que se sostiene a nivel de país. Es Bill Ackman, este hombre es brillante, no por gusto, es un multimillonario administrador de fondos de cobertura. ¿Qué más dijo? Evidencia.
We grow our way and we improve our efficiency way out of the problem. And that's how we do it. And the United States kind of unleashed, right? This is still the most entrepreneurial nation in the world.
Yes.
AI is this incredibly powerful technology that is going to be transformative. And I think that's how we're going to solve the problem. We solve it with growth and efficiency. And imagine how much more gets done, how many more people get employed, how much wages ultimately go up in a world in which it's easier to get things done. Because there are a lot of people who want to build things, want to build houses, want to start companies, want to grow their businesses that are being held back by the way that our very inefficient government oversees the country.
You say no one likes waste, and I think I know what you mean. I would argue that the people who benefit from all of this bureaucracy and corruption and you know, we started talking about DEI. I mean, DEI in government is a huge industry, and none of those people want to cut waste because that's their salary.
I hear you, but I don't think there's a lot of sympathy for people who are benefiting by waste.
Yeah.
And you know, the result will be a much more efficient, effective economy. You know, there's a book, I think it's called Bullshit Jobs. I think we have a lot of bullshit jobs, unfortunately, in government, and I think we need to eliminate them. You know, you look at the education system, it hasn't changed in, you know, 100 years. The typical schoolhouse, one teacher gets up in front of a group of students. It's, you know, we're spending, you know, enormous amounts of money, particularly in, you know, our cities. I heard a number today. We spent two-thirds of the budget for New York State on education. Some number like this, some crazy number.
Es brillante este hombre, no por gusto su desempeño le precede. Es una entrevista magistral en la que está hablando del futuro y de cómo él ve muchas cosas que tienen que cambiar en los Estados Unidos, que han ido cambiando en muchos países, lo cual ha conseguido que los demás vayan un paso por delante.